イメージするタイトルイメージ
What's up guys, Card Protagonist here. Today I'll be doing a deck profile on IG's Gancelot deck from the latest booster V-BT05 Aerial Steed Liberation. The new set gave us Gancelot, a great tree that transformed our rearguard Blaster Blade into a Vanguard, giving us access to extra drive checks and Blaster Blade's inbuilt crit ability. Because there's no victory without Blaster Blade. In this deck profile, I'll explain how and why I choose certain cards, hopefully helping you find your winning image. So let's get started. The main engine of the deck is 4 copies of Solitary Knight Gancelot. Me and Gancelot has a long history, so Gancelot makes all your Blaster Blades on the field into Vanguards, allowing them to gain extra drive checks. Its first continuous ability works during your turn and your opponent's turn. All of the Blaster Blades on your Vanguard or Rearguard circle gain plus 10k attack power, which is good because it actually makes your Blaster Blade become 20k defense, so your opponent won't be able to run through if they want to get rid of your Blaster Blades. So your Blaster Blade's only weakness is probably retiring power, and that's fair enough. Its second ability is what makes it so powerful. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, your front row circles with Blaster Blade on them becomes Vanguard circle. Really cool because Blaster Blade has a couple of really good abilities. One ability that a lot of people forget is that it actually gains extra critical when you have 4 more rearguards. However, if you do put 2 Blaster Blades side by side, both of them becomes Vanguard and its ability will not activate because it says 4 more rearguards. Imagine this, you have 2 Blaster Blades here, you have only 3 extra rearguards. So you won't be able to trigger Blaster Blade, so be careful if you want to have the extra critical. It's recommended for you to have 2 different units on the front row so that Blaster Blades can get its crit. However, if you play Force 2 and you have already had the crits, it's also cool to put 2 Blaster Blades because you'll be giving extra drive checks, giving you a total of 5 drive checks, which is awesome. So 4 copies of Gancelot is a must in this deck because it is the main engine of the deck and you really want to have it in your opening hand. Next, we play 3 copies of Monarch Sentry Alfred, an excellent backup grade 3 just in case you don't draw into Gancelot. Since the whole deck revolves around Blaster Blade, Alfred and Gancelot is really similar as they rely a lot on Blaster Blade. So its continuous Vanguard ability is all of your Blaster Blades on Rearguard or Guardian Circle gains plus 10k attack power and 5000 shield, which is actually slightly stronger than Gancelot because it gives a shield value, which is very useful because sometimes you do want to use your Blaster Blade to inset for 10k shield. Its second ability is also very powerful because it allows you to recycle Blaster Blades which are sent to the drop zone and also gives Alfred extra 15k power and a chance to gain extra critical. So when ridden as a Vanguard, you can blast 1 and soul blast 1, return a Blaster Blade from your drop zone into your hand. Until your turn, this unit gains plus 15k attack power, and you have an Alfred in the soul, this card gains extra 1 critical. You won't be constantly pulling off that critical, but being able to recycle 1 Blaster Blade back to your hand and gaining 15k extra power is really good. So 3 copies of Monarch Sentry Alfred just in case you don't draw into a Gancelot, at least you can still carry on the game with Monarch Sentry Alfred. Next, we play 1 Tactin Exculpate the Blaster. This card works amazing against Excel with its ability to bot wipe. It is also very powerful because it is kind of like a resender. After Exculpate the Blaster attacks, it reforms into Blaster Blade. And the new cards like Tristan and Gordon really use supports with Blaster Blade. Gordon for the extra power and Tristan for the search. Just in case you don't have Blaster Blade in your hand, you can constantly get him out right now. So you can write the Exculpate, call Tristan, add Blaster Blade to your hand, and always use it as cost just in case you don't have it. So yeah, the new support actually gives Blaster Blade a little more power. However, since it's a Gancelot based build, I'll be focusing on Gancelot as the main Vanguard. Next up, 4 copies of Blaster Blade, my avatar. This card alone as a rearguard may seem like a very pointless Berserk Dragon, but with Gancelot's new ability, it is power up and it will be able to bring you real victory. However, it is also very powerful early game as when you ride it, you have 4 more rearguards, you get to gain an extra critical, which is huge if you rush early game, which is the specialty of this deck since we have a lot of swarm cards. Its second Vanguard rearguard ability, when placed, Burst Buster, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1, choose one of opponent's rearguards in the front row and retire it. So you get to retire some passive rearguards. Even in the mirror match, this is actually pretty huge because you will be able to retire their Blaster Blade since you won't be able to beat through their 20k easily. So Burst Buster is an excellent card to remove some pesky cards on the field. Next, 2 copies of Conjurer of Mithril. This card is really powerful right now thanks to the importance of Blaster Blade. When this card is placed from your hand, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1, search a deck for the 1 grade 2 cards and call it to a Rearguard circle and shuffle a deck. It's really important because you'll be able to search out your Blaster Blade, which is your engine of deck. Having Gancelot on the field without a Blaster Blade is very pointless, and therefore I actually play 2 copies of Mithril Conjurer so that I can guarantee a Blaster Blade in my hand. And also, one reason why I like to play card is because I play 2 copies of Gordon, Knight of Truth Gordon. It is also a grade 2, however, its unique ability allows it to become a booster. So when I already have my Blaster Blades, I usually search for Gordon and place behind the Blaster Blade. So it's really good because this card not only searches out your Blaster Blade, if you don't have a Blaster Blade, you can search for Blaster Blade, otherwise you can search for a booster. What Gordon does is, during your turn, all Blaster Blades on your Vanguard of Rearguard Circle gains a 5k attack power. So it's interesting to note that even on the Escalate turn, when your Blaster Blade unwrites, you'll be able to gain extra 5k power because it's still on Vanguard Circle. And if your Blaster Blade is in the same color as this unit, it gains boost. So having this guy behind Blaster Blade makes him a huge booster, a 10k booster, giving extra 5k, potentially a 15k booster. However, another cool thing to note is if you have two Blaster Blades, both of them get plus 5k power. So having multiple of these on the field actually makes it really painful for opponents to guard. So 2 copies because it is searchable. It's kind of like a booster that's searchable by 100 of Mithril. And also if you don't have any grade 2s, you can always call it to the side. I mean, it's still an attacker with a 10k attack power. And you can always power the side Blaster Blade as well. So yeah. And the last grade 2 plays 4 copies of Batterveer. Batterveer is still very powerful in this deck because it is searchable by K. And also its ability to form extra magic numbers is really good. Rearguard ability, when this card is placed on your hand, you may call a Knight of Friendship K from your hand to your Rearguard Circle. If you do, you can draw a card. So it actually rewards you for calling your friend, which is cool. And K ability will be able to fetch out another Batterveer if you need to. During the battle that is boosted by Knight of Friendship K, this card gains with extra 3k power. It is similar to both abilities, so in total in this column you'll gain 6k, which is the next magic number. So 4 copies of Batterveer because it is very important in this deck. Now for the grade 1s, we play 4 copies of Knight of Friendship K. Basically, Batterveer's partner. When this card is placed on your hand, you can count plus 1, search your deck for up to 1 Batterveer and call it to Rearguard Circle and shuffle your deck. Really good because it can spam early game so that you can use your Blaster Blade to rush with the critical. Also, a card alone that is able to set up a powerful magic column is very powerful in my opinion. So 4 copies because you want to rush early game, and also in the late game it gets to recruit you extra Rearguards to the field. So the second ability is Rearguard ability. When this card boosts a Batterveer, it gains extra 3k. The 6k column is awesome. A new grade 1 from BT05, Tristan. This card, I love its new art, it's amazing. And also it's search out of Blaster Blade, which is one of the most important engine of the deck. So when placed, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can count plus 1 and search your deck for up to 1 Blaster Blade, review and put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. I realized that this ability could have been really OP if it doesn't have the grade 3 restriction. Because you can write grade 1 and just call it, search your Blaster Blade next turn to Sachiare, Boku no Bunshin, your opponent dies. So yeah, I guess it has to have the grade 3 restriction, which is cool because you really want to have it during your grade 3 turn. Do note that Gancelot skill only activates when your opponent's at grade 3. So during your first grade 3 right, if your opponent's still at grade 2, you won't be able to get the extra drive check. But you still gain an extra 10k power, which is cool anyway. So that aside, Knight of Tristan is really important because it improves the consistency of the deck. It is also a decent 8k booster, which is what I'm quite surprised with. And getting the Blaster Blade is real important. So 4 copies because you want that consistency. Next, 3 copies of Knight Squire Allen, classic IG card. When this card is placed, you can count plus 1 and call up to 1 card with grade equals or less to your Vanguard from your hand to your Rearguard Circle. If you do, draw a card. And this unit gains plus extra 3k, making it an 11k booster. Really good. This card has been here since BT1. The reason why is because it gives you the ability to gain 1 card through a Count Blast, which is kind of like rewarding you just because you're calling a card, which is awesome. So 3 copies of that. Sometimes I don't really call it, but I use it as shield. Because if my columns are really filled up with Tristans and K, I'll just use it as shield, which is cool. And most of the time I call it behind the Vanguard because these cards won't really have any impact when boosting Blaster Blades, whereas cards like Gordon or K actually has an impact when you're boosting certain cards. So 3 copies of Allen. And the last grade ones are 2 copies of Plug Enchanter. This card is really interesting because it actually unlocks a lot of builds for Blaster Blade and Royal Paladin in general. It is an auto once per turn ability. When your Blaster Blade is placed, you can soul charge 1. And if there's no face-up damage in your damage zone, you can counter charge 1, which is really good because this actually prevents your opponent from getting you damage locked. And cards like this really help because even though Gancelot don't really need any counter blast to activate its powerful abilities, it's always good to be able to use your Burst Blaster, and this card is perfect for it because it gives extra soul and it counter charges 1, which is perfect for the Burst Blaster skill. So I only play 2 copies of this because I don't really have any problem with counter blast right now. I might bump up to 3, but 2 is fine in my opinion. And its ability to soul charge actually really cool because you can actually play in Soul Saber variants since you actually main Blaster Blades in those builds. And this kind of makes Blaster Blade into a Pongal, which gives you more acceleration to the soul, making your Holy Shine much faster. If you want to see a Soul Saber variant, do hit me up with the like and leave a comment down below. Maybe I'll do it if I'm done with other deck profiles. And for this start, I play 1 copy of Bakao. I kind of wish you had a full 5 variant like Grime, but we'll see. I'm guessing that you probably have one because it's just such an iconic character in Royal Paladin to the point at which it's one of the first few cards to get banned in Vanguard. So yeah, 1 copy of Bakao. For the triggers, we play 4 copies of Floggle. We play her because she's pink. Next trigger, 4 more criticals, making a total of 8. 4 copies of Bring Out Good Luck Epona, because this game is really luck based and you really need all the luck you can get. So 4 copies, the more the merrier. Next, 4 copies of Flash You Isolde, the only perfect card we have and you should play right now because it's a draw trigger and saves slots for your great ones. And finally, 4 copy of Elaine. Damn, they really need to make more of these kind of full art cards. The full art version of Elaine just looks amazing. Its heal triggers something you want to pull late game. Its 20k shield is also amazing. So my marker lineup is 4 copies of Force Imaginary Force 1 and 3 copies of Imaginary Force 2. The reason why you only play 3 copies of Force 2 is because Force 2 can only be placed 1 per column, so yeah, its max can go 3. So 3 is fine. And 4 copies of this, I might actually bump this to 5 because I actually don't have enough sleeves for this. Yeah, so I recommend 5 to 6, you know, just bring more in major tournaments just in case. You never know when you actually do a ride. In this deck, I don't really write much, and going to Force 2 is actually one of my main strategies. But if I do have a hand that has a lot of grade 3 Gancelots, I might actually go for Force 1. But Force 2 is really good as well because since your opponent will just no-guard if you're going to use Force 1, going to Force 2 early game is really good because after you set up your Blaster Blade, they'll all have crit and your opponent will be forced to guard every single attack, which will deplete their hands as fast and giving you extra defense in that sense. So I hope you guys enjoyed my deck perform on IG's Gancelot deck. I hope this video helped you better understand the deck. And also, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you leave a like and subscribe to the channel because I'll be doing more awesome Vanguard deck profiles. So once again, thank you guys for watching, peace out and love you guys! Rawr!